I very recently returned back from a trip to Florida, and I know what you're thinking. Amy, you should have mentioned that. In all seriousness, if this is the first time that you're here on my channel, you should have a look at my other videos because I've done lots of like Disney World vlogs and lots of Disney related videos. So if you enjoy those, then make sure you stick around. I'm a bit of a Disney World veteran at this point. So I've been lucky enough to try out a lot of the different restaurants, and these are 5 of my favorites. In no particular order, I also have other favorites. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, and you will have seen this if you've done any sort of research into Disney World restaurants, is Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest is in the new part of Magic Kingdom, and it is obviously Beauty and the Beast themed. It is French cuisine, so the best thing is the French onion soup, in my opinion. The actual building itself is amazing. It's Beast's castle, basically, and there's the ballroom, Belle's bedroom, and the west wing. So there's the rose and the petals fall off, and in the evening you can meet Beast. All of these will be available on the deluxe dining plan. I believe they are also available on the Disney dining plan, the only difference being that they will count mostly as your table service. However, Be Our Guest have a little bit of a hack. Lunch and breakfast at Be Our Guest is quick service, and that means 1, it's cheaper if you don't have a dining plan, it's available on the Disney dining plan, and also it means you don't have to pay gratuity. So if you're on a little bit of a budget but you want to experience the restaurant, because it is an experience, I would recommend that you go for breakfast or lunch. But alternatively, dinner is fantastic too. And they also serve Lumiere's grey stuff. And one of my favourite things about the restaurant was that 2 years ago I asked the waitress, what's the grey stuff? And she responded with, it's delicious, don't believe me, ask the dishes, just repeatedly until I was like, fine, I'll have it. Restaurant number 2 is in Animal Kingdom, and it is the Yak and Yeti restaurant. Now again, there's a restaurant version, so that would count as your table service, or there is a quick service version next door. I haven't done the quick service one before, so I'm not sure what the differences are, but I know that they do a lot of the same things on the menu. They do like egg rolls for starter, which I'd never tried, and the popcorn shrimp. We had both of those and they were really nice. I then had the sweet and sour chicken. For dessert, I actually had the best chocolate cake I've ever eaten in my whole life. So if you go there and you don't try the chocolate cake, you're doing yourself a gross injustice. I think one of the reasons why I love this restaurant so much is because a lot of food that is available to you in America in general, tourist areas I've found, is just like burgers and chips all the time. So I was really grateful for like rice and vegetables, and I just really enjoyed it. I loved it. Next up is a restaurant that I first tried 2 years ago. It is in Disney Springs, and it is Portobello, which is an Italian restaurant. One of my favourite things that they do is the mozzarella rice balls. They're basically fried risotto balls with mozzarella in it. So not the most healthy thing in the world, but they are so nice. Again, I think a big part of the appeal to this restaurant for me was the lack of chip. I had lasagna and it was fantastic. However, the pizzas weren't that great. It's all fresh and made on site. It felt like a very authentic Italian, and also if you sit outside you can sit along the riverbank. Is it a river or a lake? I'm not sure, but it was really lovely. So the next 2 that I'm going to talk about are character dining. The first is Cinderella's Royal Table. A big benefit to this one is that your gratuities are included. So even though it's a really fancy meal, it's a really nice setting, and it is quite expensive, you don't have to pay the gratuity on top of it. So again, if you're on a budget, it's quite a good one. Basically, it's inside the castle, which is absolutely amazing. When you first go in, you get the chance to have your photo taken with Cinderella, and then they call you up, you get a little invitation, and they call you upstairs, and then the princesses that we met were Ariel, Jasmine, Snow White, Aurora. That might be all of them. The food was great, but not the most memorable thing. It was just a really lovely setting and a really nice restaurant, a really good experience. It felt very Disney. And lastly is Chef Mickey's. So we went to Chef Mickey's for brunch, which was great. The food is really good. So it's a buffet service. They do ice cream for brunch. So to be honest, I would recommend going there just for that. But also you get to meet Mickey, Donald, Pluto and Goofy and Minnie. I think that's everybody. So if you're looking for a way to meet them without having to stand in huge long queues, that was really nice. They just come to your table, and that restaurant is in the Contemporary Resort, which is just a monorail ride or a walk from Magic Kingdom. So it's really very central and very good. They do, I'm pretty sure they do breakfast, brunch and dinner. So those are 5 of my favourite Disney World restaurants. You can let me know what your favourites are in the comments, or whether you've tried any of these restaurants out and what you thought. And if you're planning a trip to Disney World, just know that I'm very jealous, and take me with you, thanks. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it or if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.